In less than 24 hours, the Republic of the Philippines will have its 17th president in the person of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. But before he takes his oath, he names two additional appointees to his cabinet: outgoing Solicitor General Jose Calida and Philippine National Bank President and CEO Arnulfo Wick Veloso. Calida is set to lead the Commission on Audit. Veloso will take on his new job as President and General Manager of GSIS.
But as he makes those last-minute appointments, the incoming president has yet to make his pick for health secretary. This as the country continues to battle the COVID-19 pandemic, with a spike in daily cases expected by mid-July. Outgoing DOH officials say they are prepared for the transition.
Hindi po kailangan mag-alala ng ating bagong Secretary of Health, whoever will be appointed, dahil ang kagawaran ng kalusugan po, kami pong mga officials ng Department of Health have prepared already this transition.
Time for today's biggest headlines. I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Robbie Alampa. You're watching The Big Story. All roads lead to the National Museum tomorrow as the country ushers in the beginning of a new administration with Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at the helm. With almost everything already in place, the stage is set for his oath-taking tomorrow, June 30.
But while his inauguration ceremony is ready to go full swing, his cabinet remains incomplete. Despite naming new appointees, he has yet to make his picks for the Departments of Health, Energy, and Foreign Affairs. For more details, we have Julie Baiza reporting to us live from the BBM headquarters in Mandaluyong. Julie, how are the preparations going?
Robbie, Gretchen, the Marcos camp is ready for tomorrow's ceremony, so much so that they have a plan B should it rain. They are also ready for the oath-taking of the new cabinet members, especially now that two names have been added to the list.
From the barong that he will wear to ensuring security at the venue, all details have already been settled for the inaugural ceremony of President-elect Ferdinand Marcos Jr. For his morning activities, Marcos Jr. will wear a modern barong inspired by the rayadillo. The rayadillo is the blue and white striped uniform worn by the Guardia Civil during the Spanish colonization. For the evening activities, he will be donning a fully embroidered barong from Taal. Both his barongs are creations of designer Pepito Albert. As for his inaugural speech, his camp is keeping mum, saying that they do not want to ruin the surprise. But if there are any surprises, it has got to be Marcos's appointment a day before his oath. He named outgoing Solicitor General Jose Calida as chairman of the Commission on Audit. Recall that the OSG under Calida has had a rift with COA over the granting of allowances. Calida also backed the burial of Marcos Jr.'s late dictator father, former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. at the libingan ng mga bayani. Apart from Calida, current Philippine National Bank President and CEO Jose Arnulfo Wick Veloso was also picked as General Manager of the Government Service Insurance System.
Chief Executive, was officer of the Philippine National Bank. He also used to be with HSBC. He was one of the highest ranking Filipinos there.
The two will be joining the rest of Marcos Jr.'s appointees in Malacanang to take their oath. So far, 29 posts have been filled, but several key appointments remain vacant, like the Departments of Health, Foreign Affairs, and Energy.
Sinusuri pa po kasi nila, as you know, nagtalaga tayo ng applications process at saka mayroong proseso para sa pag-evaluate. Dahil nga, sinasabi nyo, mahalaga yung mga posisyon na ito, hindi ito pwedeng madaliin yung proseso. Hindi sila syempre maisasabay dun sa seremonyas bukas, mayroon silang hiwalay na oath-taking sa harap ng presidente.
Outgoing DOH officials have said that they are ready for the transition once a new health secretary is named.
Robbie, Gretchen, as you can see, there are supporters here outside the Mandaluyong headquarters. Some of them said they're still hoping to see BBM a day before his inauguration.
Maraming salamat. That was Julie Baiza reporting live from Mandaluyong.
Let's move now to the final preparations at the National Museum for Marcos Jr.'s inauguration. Earlier today, last-minute rehearsals, both for performers and uniformed personnel, were conducted.
Let's get more details from Jenny Dongon, who is reporting to us live from the National Museum in Manila. Jenny, how were the final preparations for tomorrow's inauguration?
Robbie, as you can see behind me right now, all systems go. The venue is ready and just waiting for the program to begin tomorrow. This as they plan to ensure that the program will go smoothly for the inauguration of incoming President Bongbong Marcos. Armored military vehicles, soldiers, police, street sweepers, and supporters joined the last-minute practice in Padre Burgos Avenue right in front of the National Museum. The inauguration of President Marcos Jr. as the 17th President of the Philippines will stick to tradition, but is expected to be simple and solemn. Actress-singer Tony Gonzaga will sing the Philippine National Anthem to be followed by an ecumenical invocation. There will also be a showcase of the country's air, land, and sea assets during the military and civil parade. The young voices of the Philippines Choir and Chris Villonco will sing the inauguration song, Pilipinas Kong Mahal. No details have been given yet on Marcos Jr.'s speech, but one thing is for sure, the president-elect will not use a teleprompter, just like his father. According to the PNP, over 1,200 VIPs and dignitaries will attend the inauguration. Up to 30,000 supporters are allowed to flock to the Intramuros Gulf area where LED monitors have been set up. Over 9,000 policemen will be deployed for security. Rallies and protests will be allowed, but only in the identified freedom parks.
Pero the moment they will step out the area as a group, they will be prevented. Una, baka makagabal ito sa pinapating rerouting scheme.
Given the inclement weather recently, Marcos Jr.'s camp has a plan B ready should it rain.
Right now, the forecast is sunny skies for tomorrow.
Sunny?
Sunny.
70% daw uulan.
That was the prognosis last time. Okay, kung uulan, there's a plan B. We haven't, we're not at liberty to discuss plan B right now. So, also security issues.
Gretchen, Robbie, for those who want to witness the inauguration here tomorrow, the PNP stressed that backpacks and umbrellas are not allowed. The National Museum will be on lockdown beginning 9 in the morning tomorrow. Gretchen, Robbie.
Maraming salamat, Jenny. Jenny Dongon, reporting to us live from the National Museum in Manila.
It might be a wet inauguration day tomorrow as Tropical Depression Kaloy stays almost stationary over the West Philippine Sea, enhancing the southwest monsoon. As of 3 p.m. today, Kaloy was last located 390 kilometers west of Iba, Zambales with maximum sustained winds of 45 kph, gusts of up to 55 kph. It's moving slowly northwestward. Pag-asa says Kaloy may exit the Philippine area of responsibility within 24 hours, but its track and intensity may still change due to its current nature. Moderate to heavy rains due to habagat will affect Bataan, Zambales, Palawan, Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, Aurora, and Quezon. Meanwhile, Metro Manila, Western Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, and the rest of Luzon may experience cloudy skies with scattered rain showers, while the rest of the country may experience partly cloudy skies with isolated rains. Now, if the inclement weather is a concern for you, you can still catch the inauguration ceremony right at the comfort of your homes. Robbie will tell us how. Robbie?
Yes, Gretch, they can do that by tuning in here on One News. Catch ang panunumpa, ika-17 presidente ng Pilipinas on June 30. That starts 9 a.m. tomorrow. It will be hosted by Jay Taruk and Cheryl Cosen. The live coverage is available on Signal Channels 8 and 250 and on the Signal Play app.
These are the other big stories tonight. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Ressa vows to fight as the Securities and Exchange Commission affirmed the order to revoke the media company's license to operate. Meanwhile, in another regulation of media companies, the National Telecommunications Commission has reduced the amount of airtime that a radio and television station can sell to block timers to 50%. And ulirang tita is back, paandar hat and all, this time for her nephew's graduation. Find out what the fuss is all about with this internet sensation after the break.
still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Hall. The Securities and Exchange Commission affirmed its earlier decision to revoke Rappler's license to operate. This is still linked to claims that Rappler violated foreign ownership restrictions.
Rappler continues its operations today as its legal team takes the matter to court. Marian Enriquez has this report.
It's business as usual. This was Rappler CEO and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Resa's response to the Securities and Exchange Commission's move to uphold its decision revoking the media company's license to operate.
We continue to work. It is business as usual. We will follow the legal, there is a process, and we'll follow the legal process. We'll continue to stand up for our rights.
The SEC has claimed that Rappler violated the restrictions on foreign ownership when it issued Philippine depository receipts to a foreign investor. But the Court of Appeals remanded the case for a re-evaluation. Rappler's chief legal counsel, attorney Francis Lim, explained that they have 15 days to file for a petition for review before the CA. They are also ready to bring the case up to the Supreme Court if necessary.
So it's not the end of the world for us. There's still a very long process to go. We strongly believe in our case. We are positive that we can have the revocation of Rappler reversed by the highest court of the land.
Lim also clarified that the SEC's revocation order is not yet final and executory. As far as they're concerned, the SEC decision was highly irregular.
We were not given due process during the evaluation stage. Due process, which is a constitutional right, should have required that we be accorded our day in court before the SEC decided this particular case. So that's another powerful argument.
Lim said he believes that the SEC will not implement the ruling pending their appeal, but he said they are ready if things turn out for the worse. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
How is Rappler handling this latest attack on its operations? That big question and more with Rappler senior reporter Pia Ranada Robles. Pia, welcome to The Big Story. Pia, are you there? Pia? We seem to be having technical problems. We'll try to get Pia Ranada back. Pia, are you there? No, we'll try to get back to Pia Ranada later on. Meanwhile, the National Telecommunications Commission has issued a memorandum restricting block time deals of radio and television companies. In a memo dated June 23, the NTC directed all broadcast stations to submit their block time arrangements for the agency's approval. The NTC also reduced the amount of airtime for block timers to just 50% of the daily airtime of the station. The order comes at a time when there are reported talks between ABS-CBN and TV5. ABS-CBN currently has block time spots on the Kapatid Network after it lost its congressional franchise. The kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas on One News agenda questioned the lack of consultation before the order was made and the NTC's jurisdiction over content.
We most likely would seek clarification on the order of the NTC. And I have heard from our General Counsel, si Atty. Reggie Larbal, that there is a Supreme Court ruling that NTC has no jurisdiction over content. So dapat walang ganitong klaseng order.
For the big story in sports, after recovering from COVID, Pinoy pole vaulter sensation EJ Obiena claimed his latest gold medal at the Tabby Stab Hops Gala in Sweden. Obiena missed 2 tournaments over the past month because of COVID, but in his return, Obiena proved that he is more than ready to compete, clearing 5.92 meters to win the event. Now, this is just 0.01 meters short of beating his own personal best of 5.93. Which is the current Asian standard in men's pole vault that he established in Austria back in September 2021. Obiena attempted to break his own record but failed to clear 6.01 meters after 3 attempts. Time for another quick break. When we return, a tearful send-off at the office of the Vice President as Lenny Robredo steps down Thursday, leaving behind an office that has attained the highest COA rating for 4 straight years. And the internet's favorite tita Contrabida is back with photos of her outfit and entourage during her nephew's graduation. These big stories after the break.
You're still watching The Big Story. I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. Vice President Leni Robredo ends her term with the highest COA rating for the 4th straight year.
But before leaving the Vice President's office in Quezon City, she shared one last heartfelt moment with her employees. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to this story.
Lalaban tayo!
By noon of Thursday, June 30, Vice President Leni Robredo, leader of the Philippine opposition, will be private citizen Robredo.
Kung gusto ko magbakasyon, makakabakasyon ako. Makakapanood na ulit ako ng mga K-drama. Pero yung malungkot for me, yung co-term na employees ng OVP, magkakanya-kanya na kami.
Robredo reminisces the bittersweet memories of the last 6 years, saying the most memorable were the challenges.
Pagtanggap ko ng pagiging co-chair ng ICAD, we worked the hardest during those 18 days kasi alam namin na tatanggalin ako at any time. Tapos siguro lahat na sakuna. Lahat na sakuna kasi doon na nag-umpisa yung volunteerism.
But Robredo will also be leaving office with a bang after receiving yet another unqualified opinion from the Commission on Audit for 2021. They also received this in 2018, 2019, and 2020.
Talagang we tried our hardest na gawing parang model office.
Today is the last day of Robredo's team in the Quezon City reception house. Now the floors are clean. The rooms are empty, save for a few boxes. A contrast to the halls that were once filled with donations for calamities. And that's what Robredo is most proud of, saying she didn't just wait as a spare tire to the presidency. Robredo's flagship program, Angat Buhay, will continue on as a non-government organization next month. Robredo said she will also focus on the fight against disinformation, which she herself became the biggest victim of. In the end, she still lost the elections, but Robredo says she has no regrets.
If I have to do it all over again, knowing what the results will be, I will still do it. Kasi para sa akin, yun yung pinakamasaya, pinaka-satisfying na campaign that I've been through.
Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
We circle back to our big story with the SEC affirming its decision to revoke Rappler's license to operate. How is Rappler handling all of this? That big question and more with Rappler senior reporter Pia Ranada Robles. Pia, welcome to the big story.
Hello, Robbie. Hello, Gretchen.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
Yeah, Pia, first of all, was Rappler aware of what was going to come down, or was this a surprise?
It was a surprise. I can speak for myself. When I woke up this morning and I saw the messages on our messaging app, it really came as a surprise. And of course, the timing. I mean, 2 days before the inauguration of the incoming administration.
Okay, now let's talk about the outgoing administration first. It's no secret the Duterte administration had been trying and has had several attempts to shut down Rappler. How is this development at the SEC any different, or where does this move it relative to the past actions of government?
Well, this is a development in that the Securities and Exchange Commission basically affirmed a decision that the Court of Appeals remanded them to make. So it means that, for them, maybe they would implement it. We don't know if they will do that, but for us, this is not yet a final and executory decision, but of course, it's up to the SEC really what they will do with this latest order. But for us in Rappler, nothing has changed. We're continuing to cover the latest events here. We're going to cover the inauguration. So for us, it's business as usual.
And speaking of the SEC, beyond the commission, what are your options now? Court of Appeals, or do you actually have the option to take this straight to the Supreme Court?
Definitely, it's one of the options to take it to the highest court. Also, with the Court of Appeals, because one aspect of the case was the omidyar donation, which we believe, and the CA actually said something about how it possibly cured the problem that the SEC found. And we believe that if we continue to push this line and, this option to us, it could be something that could be taken up by a higher court.
Okay, and when you take it to the higher court, government insists and they try to remind that for them, this is about foreign ownership. For Rappler, what ultimately is the issue?
This is really, for us, a press freedom issue because we believe that we were treated unfairly by the SEC. Most in the usual way of doing these kinds of issues, there would be a corrective period of 1 year, and we weren't given that period. So we think that just in itself shows how the process was basically changed for Rappler, and we all know that it was a time when the president was criticizing us during his sauna for our critical reportage of his drug war. So I think that definitely this kind of move sends a message to all the journalists and all the newsrooms out there that if we make a move like Rappler, right, we could face the same consequences.
Maraming salamat, Pia Ranada Robles, senior reporter of Rappler. Meanwhile, outgoing Agriculture Secretary William Dar says investigations are underway after the Senate released its list of alleged smugglers and protectors in government. Dar says that they will pass the result of the investigation on to the next administration, regardless of what it will be. He also denied involvement in the controversy. Anak, nandito na ang tita mo. Our favorite ulirang tita is back, this time to attend her nephew's online graduation.
Ulirang tita went viral last year during her nephew's virtual recognition program for her mysterious rich tita look. And now she has a bodyguard in tow. Anel Ramones dolled up for another momentous event in the life of her 6th grade nephew, Luis Miguel Ramones. Her nephew had just graduated from Technology Integrated Montessori with high honors.
Since netizens loved her extra and contrabida vibes, Anel upped the ante with a wide-brimmed hat to cover her face and cat-eye sunglasses to add to the mystery. Her bodyguard also came prepared with a black suit, cap, shades, and an earpiece to fully stay in character as a security guard.
Ganyan din ba kayo kay Kia nung nag-graduate siya?
Oo, hindi, but teka muna. Kami, simple lang naman kami. Happy na kami. because it was about her speaking of, let's not forget, congratulations to the nephew.
Ah,
Diba?
oo
Bakit
nga
naman
naman.
yung buong
Oo,
storya natin tungkol kay
congratulations,
ulirang
diba?
tita. Thank you rin sa ulirang pamangkin.
Oh, nakakatuwa naman. Pero sa Chinese iba eh. Yung pagka-rich tita, kahit anong suot mo, basta may dala kang ampaw. Yung pula. Pulang envelope.
Dapat may laman yung ampaw.
Diba? Oo.
Diba? Mahirap naman makatanggap ka ng ampaw lang.
Oo. So, punta kayo sa mga bahay ng mga Filipino-Chinese pagka celebration. That wraps up today's Big Story. Catch us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Signal Channels 8 and 250.
Please like our Facebook page, One News. For more in-depth analysis, visit our webpage, onenews.ph. Mask on.
Wash hands.
And get vaccinated, Philippines. I'm Robbie Alampay.
I'm Gretchen Hall. We are One News. Have a good evening.